What up, everybody? It's your girl JoJo of JoJo's Replay, and I am here to tell you about OAT, Official America's Team. It is a platform built for fans, by fans, and it's all about Cowboys Nation, baby. We got so many big-time personalities like yours truly, Tyson Westcoast from Dallas Cowboys Scouting, Silver and Blue Nation headed by Big Game James, and the president and CEO himself, Barry Gibson, the guy that's bringing us all together and making all of this happen. Go subscribe. Go be a supporter. You know it's all about Cowboys Nation and about this chase for number 6, baby. And OAT is the hub to connect us all. So I'm telling you right now, go join. Go subscribe, because here at OAT, baby, we making big moves, because OAT is our business, and our business is our swag.
Top of the morning, top of the Saturday bye-week morning, y'all. It's your boy B Jizzle. We are streaming live back in the lab. We are live on Facebook, so shout out to everybody on Built Different Group this morning. Our show today is brought to you by all of the Green Bag supporters on Built Different Group, so thank you for your continued support. We got over 50 supporters right now, so thank you. This show is brought to you today by those folks. We have a special guest that'll be joining us because it's been a rough week, Cowboys fans, especially during the bye week. It's been a pretty rough week, y'all. And we're going to talk about it today. And this has opened up the mental discussion piece. And so we're going to further that discussion here today, especially after the unfortunate events of Marshawn Kneeland. So come on, come tap in. Let's talk about it this morning. We will talk a little bit about Cowboys, answer any questions that you have, but we are furthering the mental health discussion today after the tragic loss of Marshawn Kneeland of the Dallas Cowboys. But we're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. Good morning. Make sure and leave me a comment down there. Let me know that the comments are working this morning. Okay. Let me know that the notifications are working on Built Different Group. You know, things have kind of slowed down on Built Different Group a little bit because, you know, I'm with the shenanigans on my profile. But every week we're going to have our pregame, postgame show and our exclusive shows here with special guests from the Built Different Group Network. And we've got a special guest from the Built Different Group Network today. A lot of you may have seen her at a stadium near you. She goes by Game Day Batty on Instagram. She's also known as the Dallas Cowboys Angel. So if you've seen an angel floating around at a Dallas Cowboy game, it might have been her wings, but you know it's a copycat league out there. So shout out to all of the other angels in tow. But there is only one Dallas Cowboys Angel, and her name is Mags, aka Dr. M. I had to reach in my bag, y'all, and go find a fan that's in the mental health space to talk about everything with the Cowboys this week. So come in and let's talk about it. Let's welcome our special guest to the show, Dr. M.
Hi, everyone. Good morning.
How's the weather down there in, is it sunny California or is it raining down there right about now?
It is how I see sunshine outside of my window, but indoors, it's gloomy and somber and sad.
Yeah.
Not only because we've had a bye week, but because we had a huge loss that kind of shakes up the football community. And, you know, here peeks its ugly head. Just how, you know, once again, one of our players has suffered in silence. One of our friends, one of our brothers, one of our teammates, one of our family members is no longer here. So pretty sad inside, but outdoors is nice and sunny in LA.
I agree with you. You definitely got to find a silver lining. It's tough already to be a fan of this team, but now with the tragic news over this weekend of Marshawn Kneeland in a self-inflicted gunshot wound, it's time to open the mental health discussion, because one thing that I can't stand is, you know, a lot of people like to call me delusional, you know, and follow me here. This is not a joking matter. Everybody knows as a Cowboys fan, you've been called delusional before. It's not cool to be called delusional, especially if maybe if in an argument, you know, somebody calls you, you're delusional and something like that. You know, it's not, it doesn't really feel good as a Cowboys fan. And we already have to deal with that. But then on top of that, we lose one of our players. So I'm really glad that you got to join us here today, Dr. M, because you're an owner of Culture Therapy. You've got your own practice. You're in the mental health space. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself, Doctor, you know, about your history, how you got into the mental health space, and, you know, a little bit so folks can get to know you here today.
Yes, and once again, thank you, Barry, for BG, for the space that you have allowed us. I just want to give a shout out to all those people suffering in silence, and just want to say you're not alone. A little background on me. I've been a Dallas Cowboys fan, oh Lord, for about 22 years now. And since I was, a little baby. But nonetheless, I've been a mental health advocate for a very long time. I've been in this field for, I don't want to age myself, but let's just say a very long time. I'm passionate about helping others. I've been crisis frontline, suicide prevention, crises intervention. I'm now blessed enough to have my own private practice to be able to do pro bono work. Shout out to all those awesome organizations needing mental health. I do pro bono work all the time. Reach out to me and we'll figure something out. No one should feel alone with such desperate need for mental health because they can't afford it. So I put myself on the line there to be able to provide these services for free for those who can't afford it or those that just want to talk and, if anything, prevent any catastrophe from happening further. I just want to give some background and some statistics on suicide prevention. But before we get to that, how about them Cowboys?
Hey, how about them Cowboys? It's been a rough season on top of everything on top of that. And now we're on the bye week. And a lot of fans that I know will be hitting, including myself, to Las Vegas next week. And it's going to be a big game there in Las Vegas. Hopefully, maybe the Cowboys can get a win. But how you feeling about this season? I mean, is there anything that you liked or not liked this season that you've seen so far with your team?
I am one of those faithful, loyal, Cowboys fans. And despite where we're at, I still feel like this is our year. It could be.
Hey, we still got like a 5% chance, according to some of the stats that I looked, because we got some division games left. And as crazy as it's been at 3-5-1, we definitely still have a chance. And, we got one of our Cowboy cousins tapping in right now. Prototype's tapping in. Say, hey, Cousins Mag.
Hey, Proto. Sending you lots of love.
Yeah, we got Top in the building. Good morning. We got Park Ranger in the building. Good morning, Park Ranger. How we doing? We got BMAC in the building. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure you like and share the video today as we're talking about mental health with a mental health advocate, Dr. M. This is not just another Cowboys fan. She's actually a USC graduate, doctorate degree. How many? You got multiple degrees over there, right? And it comes to mental health.
Yes, I'm fortunate enough to have 4 degrees, not bragging, just a humble brag. I'm
That's
one
awesome.
of the less than 0.1% Latinas that get to reach to this level. And I'm just blessed to be here. And, I've had my own struggles with suicide and suicide ideation and mental health, and that's the reason why I became an advocate, because I know that if I could help someone just change their negative thinking patterns and save a life, then, all those years in school was worth it, and the experience as well. So, yeah.
So let's just get really on the surface. What are some basic things as we open up this mental health discussion? Because a lot of people aren't used to going around and asking. They're asking, say, hey, man, what's up? How are you? Everybody, oh, I'm fine. We get the standard answer, right? And shout out to all my veterans that are out there, because as a veteran, I'm speaking to you. I know that it takes at least 5 times to ask a veteran, are you okay, before we can peel that onion back far enough. But Dr. M, on the surface, what are some signs family members or friends can see from others that may, they may be calling out for help or crying for help? Like you said, Marshawn suffered in silence. There are a lot of people suffering in silence. They're scared to ask for help. But what are some of the signs other people may see in those that need help to try to identify them?
Right. And of course, unfortunate what happened with Marshawn. I was digging up some information on him, and I saw that his mother had passed away about a year ago. So, one of those huge indicators was anytime you deal with grief and loss, you need to process that. You can't just bury it underneath and hope that it goes away. There's always that healthy processing groups. If you don't believe on one-on-one talk therapy, even just social circles around your friends, say, hey, I really need to talk to someone about this. But, grief is tough, on top of that, you add stress of like a performance, stress about career, stress about, trauma, car accidents, any severe shock to your nervous system will respond in anxiety, depression, or even thoughts about just not wanting to be here. But specifically with suicide, normally when someone has these feelings, they already had anxiety, depression, right? They've had all these emotions that have been bottled up and they don't know how to express them. And the best way is just to go numb and not feel. Right.
Compartmentalize, right? Compartmentalize and bury that, not deal with it. A lot of us, I'm prior Navy, so compartmentalization, a lot of my sailors and, Navy veterans out there will understand that I compartmentalized a lot of the things that I went through in the Navy for a lot of years, y'all. And I speak from experience here. If I had my mental health journey stuff too, as well as Dr. M is talking about, these signs that we see. And among veterans are really, really good because for one thing, we're always told, hey, suck it up, buttercup. You didn't get feelings issued in your sea bag. You didn't get feelings and emotions issued to you at boot camp. You don't have a right to feel. It's all about the mission. You need to stay focused. And through that, we compartmentalize a lot of that stuff, that grief, family members and things that happen outside of the military. And so it affects. But I wanted to ask you that question because there are a lot of people going around suffering in silence right now.
Definitely. And I just want to highlight, we are at minute 11 of this live. And one of the most horrible things is that somebody just died of suicide. One person every 11 minutes dies from suicide. So we just lost someone to suicide. So this shows how detrimental, we could have saved someone in these 11 minutes, right? We could have made a difference. So if you are watching this, know that you can make a difference and that I'm going to provide you with those skills, those signs, and how you can help someone that's struggling with this. So let's get into it. So someone that might be having warning signs of suicide, right? They can be talking about dying, dealing with a great guilt and shame over something that has happened, something that they did, something that someone did to them. They feel like they're a burden to others, right? Often feeling empty, hopeless, helpless, trapped, having no reason to live. It's just better off if I wasn't here anymore, right? They can be extremely sad, extremely anxious, agitated, angry, full of rage, right? Just unbearing the pain and the emotions that they're going through. Some of those changes that could be impacted as well, or this person could be displaying, is taking dangerous risks, driving extremely fast, right? Making plans. If I go buy a gun to kill myself, going to the gun store, withdrawing from friends, not wanting to talk to you, avoiding to talk to friends, giving away important items, making a will, talking about if I'm no longer here, I want you to do this with my body. A strong sense to use substances, drugs, alcohol, pain pills, eating a lot, sleeping a lot, or eating less, or not sleeping at all, extreme mood swings, shifts, right, and behaviors. So those are just some signs that someone could be experiencing. So, hey, I have a friend that's going through this. What can I do, Dr. M? Well, obviously you can reach out. If you are used to contacting this friend and they're not reaching out to you and it seems very suspicious, go the extra mile. Go do a welfare check. How are you doing? Show up to the house, video call. Do not stop thinking, well, they don't want to talk to me. It's not about you. It's about them, especially if you know what's going on in their life. Reach out, even if you're going to bother them.
I'm glad you bring that up. And I just want to insert this in real quick because, when it comes to veterans, we got a lot of pride. We don't like to talk. And when you're being intentional, you almost got to be aggressively intentional, especially with a veteran. Because like I said, they'll shrug you off 3 or 4 times. You ask them, are they all right? But if you're really caring about them and you're really checking in on them, you can't just send them a text. You can't just send them a DM. You've got to get them on the phone and speak to them. As I shared a video here yesterday, when you check on folks, if you're doing that electronically via phone, you've got to be intentionally aggressive, because folks that are suffering in silence, they learn to bury that, compartmentalize that, and we don't want to talk about it.
All right. And then I just want to slap you guys with some statistics in regards to suicide. In 2023, 1.5 million people attempted suicide.
Damn.
Attempted suicide. Over
1.5.
50,000. Yes. Over 50,000 of those people actually died. All right. 3.7 million people made a plan for suicide, and 12.8 million actually thought about suicide. Can you imagine? Wow.
I mean, the world we live in now, it's, there's a lot of stuff that is going on, especially as I continue to speak about veterans. A lot of veterans have this thing that they think the VA is the enemy, that getting help, that the VA won't help, because I've seen veterans commit suicide on social media, not in a live sense, but after the fact. I've seen a Army veteran literally blow his head off with a shotgun on live video after the fact because he felt that the VA wasn't giving him help. Well, I'm here to tell you, you've got to be intentional about going to the VA. You can't allow the VA to try to save you. You got to save yourself by going to get some help. But don't use the VA as, hey, I'm not getting any help or anything like that. That's DM me if that's the case. If you're in that position right now, DM me and I will pull on my contacts that I have to try to get you into the VA, because it's different across the nation. We understand, especially with everything going on right now, some of these service centers, some of these folks that are working in these VA programs are no longer there. They're working there and not getting paid, as the government is still on a stand down right now. But we're not going to get political on that. But you've got to be intentional. You've got to talk to veterans and be intentional, aggressive about that. Ask them at least 5 times, because they're going to try to bury it, and you're not going to get to the root of that problem.
I totally agree. And, shout out. Thank you for your service to all the veterans, including yourself, BG. Salute to Service Month. So that's why at least I am wearing our camel to say thank you. And, 1,000 respect to those who have the courage and the honor to serve our country. Just a little bit more on suicide rates. People of color have higher suicide rates than its white counterparts. Just wanted to throw that in there because we have a lot of Latino and people of color that are Dallas Cowboys fans, or just people in general, right? I wanted to share that people of color don't necessarily are that open to having a discussion about how they feel. So that's why we have higher rates and suicide rates. And we don't talk about Bruno. We keep that hidden. We weren't raised generational to talk about our emotions and to say, hey, I don't feel emotionally well. We suck it up and continue on going about our day. Because
what are you crying about? Stop crying. I'll give you something to cry about.
Exactly.
Sound familiar?
Yes. And we are so grateful that some of the Dallas Cowboys players actually have organizations that deal directly with mental health, because they've had their own run-ins with family members or themselves struggle with mental health. We have. Want to share? Would you like to share?
Yeah, no, a couple of players we're talking about, because most players, start nonprofits. They want to engage in the community and things like that. Everybody is familiar about Faith Fight Finish with Dak Prescott, but I know Osa Odigizua. You've seen him a couple of times. He's signed your wings, and he knows who the Angel is. I know you want to highlight Osa's nonprofit here today. So tell us a little bit about what Osa's got going on in the community.
Well, Osa's a LA native. Of course, he's enemy territory, just kind of like an Eagles fan, if you ask me, because I'm USC and he's a UCLA alumni. Nonetheless, I digress. I just wanted to say I'm very thankful that we have organizations not only that focus on the community and what they can help with, but this organization helps single mothers or mothers that need assistance with any resource that they're lacking. So far, they have been able to provide, food giveaways, backpack giveaways, whatever service that the mothers might need. It's an inspiration how Osa's mother, provided for him and his siblings, and the resiliency of a mother's love, and he gets to pass that along. I'm hoping that we can partner up and open a LA satellite office and provide some free mental health services to the community, to his community. And so, thank you so much for this organization, Osa, and I'm looking forward to working with you in the future.
That's cool, man. Osa is becoming quite the star, especially not on the field, but off the field. Following in Dak Prescott's lead, which we'll talk about faith fight finish here, because y'all have heard my quarterback come out and talk about depression. He's dealt with it. He lost his mother to colon cancer. He lost his brother to suicide. Dak is no stranger to the grief that Dr. M has been talking about. You can only imagine what Dak Prescott was talking about, especially the other day. Did you realize that Cardinals game the other day, Dr. M, that loss that we took at home was actually on the anniversary of Dak Prescott's mother's death? And then one of the reporters had to ask him about it. And I'm going to go ahead and grab that clip and pull it up as he talks about life and stuff. And this was all before what had happened with Marshawn Kneeland. But I'll go ahead and I'll grab that clip right quick. And then we're going to talk about Dak Prescott's faith fight finish. So let's listen into what Dak Prescott had to say on the loss on the day of his mother's anniversary. I couldn't imagine. I just couldn't imagine. Here we go.
Michelle Montaigne, WFA. Dak, I think it's the anniversary of your mom's passing. How does having a game on this day kind of change how you approach the day?
Yeah, heavy hearts today. This game's hard, but when you deal with a day like today, you realize life's hard. And blessed to be able to do what I do. Thankful for in so many ways that, I mean, I don't even know if I can even explain how thankful I am for the time I had with her, and to have a great of a mother as I did, selfless mother. Everything that you see me do and I am is because of her. This loss is nothing compared to life, and that's why I don't have any concerns about what I'll be able to do, this team will be able to do, in the way that we can respond. But it was a tough day. It was a tough day, and it's a day that you damn sure want to win. That there was many, I thought this morning about a lot of the Monday night games that we watched together, and wanted to get a win, and I didn't. But I know that doesn't take how proud she is away. Doesn't take anything away from who I am, and just keep pushing for her.
I want y'all to think about that really quick. Dak Prescott not only lost his mother to colon cancer, but in addition, he lost his brother Jace to suicide. Now, that wasn't really highly publicized, especially amongst, Cowboy fans and things like that. That was kept close under wraps. But his brother Jace died in a similar fashion. And so this quarterback that not only is in the most polarizing position in the NFL, because you could take out Dak Prescott and insert Dr. M, insert BG. We're going to get the hate. Win, lose, or draw. As the QB1 for this team, we're the most visible team. He is the most polarizing position, but this guy continues to get hate. And he's dealt with his mother, who lost with colon cancer, his brother to suicide. And this guy still gets up for this team every day. And I just don't understand why people can hate on this guy, especially because of what he may be going. I couldn't imagine how how do you think he handles it? You think he goes and talks to people, or he has a psychologist? I mean, how do you think Dak is able to handle all of that?
I brought tears to my eyes. Definitely. And if you are a individual that's unable to handle it, there's resources out there for you. One of those is the 988 Crisis Center. This is not only a number for California, but it's nationwide as well. You can text it, you can chat, you can call. There's always someone available to talk and to just, there's no fee for this. If you are feeling the need or the urge to end your life, please reach out. You're not alone, right? Ask for help. You are important. Please stay here with us. Whatever situation that you're in is situational. And even if there's no fix, it's okay. Life still goes on. We can find other ways to help you cope, other ways to help you deal with a lot of people that wish that they had that time, and here we are wishing we didn't have that time. So please reach out to someone. Your life matters. In the words of Dak Prescott, your life matters. Right? It matters to me. It matters to BG. It matters to all the Dallas Cowboys fans. So
yeah, because one thing aside, it's all kiki and haha about the Cowboys, but you can't replace a life. And Sarah's tapping in. Prototype says, I went through it alone with God about 10 years ago and made it out, but I should have asked for help. I never thought of suicide, but begged God to let my disease take me. So thankful I'm still here. I am thankful you are here too, Prototype, because you are inspiration. You have inspired me with your fight, whether you know that or not. And I want to share that here with you today because you are one tough cookie, girl. You continue to fight, and that's why you got the name Prototype. So thank you for tapping in here today. We appreciate
Love
that.
You,
yeah, B-Max tapping in and says, this show makes me want to call everybody I know just to check on them. Please do. I never met y'all, but have become a part of my family over this past 2 years. I fuck with y'all. Hey, we appreciate that, B-Mac. I know I got you in fantasy football this week. I hope I can give you your first L. Congratulations on being undefeated, but thank you for tapping in and being part of our community. That's what we wanted to do here is open up on the bye week and talk further. I hate to say it, but this now I see the mental health discussion open more now than it's ever been as a result. And shout out to the Broncos and shout out to the NFL, because directly after that, they were honoring the life and memory of Marshawn Kneeland. And I thought that was very, very classy. And, for fans that are hating on, players and things like that, because they don't get your fantasy points or they don't win your teams or you don't win because you can't talk smack on social media. Remember, the most underrated thing we forget about every day is making it home safe. Is making it home safely. If you can make it home safely every day, that is a blessing, because we deal with enough from the external spaces out there, all of the bombardment from social media, advertisements, culture, and everything. Like your practices there called cultural therapy. I heard you talking about the demographics, and suicide numbers are higher amongst certain demographics. Why do you think that is, Dr. M? Is there anything that you could point your finger to with that, or is it just part of the regimen?
I think it's cultural, growing up in many different cultures. We didn't talk about mental health. It was more of suppressing your emotions. We didn't process, like you said, stop crying and shut up and move on with what you have to do, right? We weren't allowed the opportunity to say, I feel sad, I feel angry, right? And so I think it comes from, statistically is very cultural, and it has to do a lot with generational patterns and beliefs, right? Especially having the fear of talking to someone outside of the home, right?
Or maybe somebody that doesn't look like you, because I know that's a big part of the reason why you're in this space too, as you mentioned, for the Latinas and those demographics, because a lot of this demographic you're talking about is going to seek help with people that don't look like them. Exactly. Yeah. And it's already hard enough for us to go and talk to a stranger. I know it was for me for many years. I said, man, I don't need to talk to nobody about my problems. I'm a grown ass man. I don't need to go see no other man and talk to some man about my problems. Like that's like funny shit. You know what I mean? And that's the mentality that was permeated through us in the ranks, was you've got to be tough, because if you were seen to go to medical, or you were on medication, or you had mental health. I even seen in the recruiting space while I was in the Navy, if you had mental health problems, they didn't even want you talking to kids. They just take you out of the office. They scared to death you was going to go postal or something. But you're right. A lot of the demographics, and I'm proud to have you here on the show today, for people that look like you, to be able to give them some help. So how can folks find you in the Los Angeles area? Because I know you said that you're offering your pro bono services down there. What are some ways folks can maybe contact you today, or get other people in contact with you they may be checking on to ask for help?
Definitely. I will share my email. You guys can reach out to me. It's very simple. Therapy with Dr. M at gmail.com. So I will leave it in the comments, or can we add it
Okay.
on there?
I'll put it on the comments right now. You said therapy with Dr. M at gmail.com.
Correct.
All right, there it is. That's the email address in there. So if you're checking on folks, or if you're in the Los Angeles, California, greater area, or whatever, a Cowboys fan, like we say, therapists don't look like us. Cowboy fans, may more likely to talk to a Cowboy fan because, you have, that shared affinity for that team, and they may feel a little bit more trust. Because I think that's the biggest thing is folks are scared to trust other people, because in the social media age, we see people getting obliterated on social media, and the fear of, people trying to ask for help. It seems like it goes down because people are really literally programmed off these timelines, Doctor.
Definitely. I want to highlight something that you mentioned earlier, that now, because of, this isn't the first suicide or, mental health issue in the NFL. We've had a history of the need for mental health services in this field. I want to call out, right, the NFL owners, the NFL managers, and say, hey, where are the jobs for mental health specialists within your organization? I've been searching for a while. It's been a over 5-year search. I've seen them for soccer positions, but they still have to jump through additional hoops, right, to understand the basics of sports. And it's like, okay, that's great and wonderful. I probably learned that in high school, but what about the expertise that I already come with? I'm fully equipped to handle anything mental health related. And, and doesn't mean that I need an extra credential on top of the multiple ones that I already have to make it seem that I'm fit enough to become a sports mental health specialist, right? So I am challenging all sports to include mental health advocates, specialists, doctors, therapists, and as equally as the same as you hire a coach.
Yeah, I got you. I'm looking up a little bit of information in the background on the NFL because I wanted to say a couple of years ago, I thought the NFL had designated teams with a mental health professional. And here I got a link here from the NFL.com Player Health and Safety, Comprehensive Mental Health and Wellness Committee. So they do have a committee. So I'll share this link down there in the comments below. If you're a practicing professional like Dr. M in the mental health space, I think that's a great call out. I think, teams need more visible, like mental health coaches and somebody they can go talk to, because maybe players don't want to share. And when it goes back to Marshawn Nealon, this is really tough because I think they said his mother passed on draft day. He had gone his whole career to try to, fulfill his dream of making it to the league. And, that was a lot to weigh on him. And he's been carrying that around and compartmentalizing. And if you peel back the call from, that we heard that's out there on social media with Marshawn and his call for help and what he was going through, it was already too late at that point. And it's so unfortunate because if you could just have somebody to talk to. And so I'm hoping that maybe as a result of this discussion opening up and having folks like you in the professional mental health space, that maybe the NFL will raise the bar on mental health and, designate some more folks, and let's see some more publicity about the mental health aspect of these players, because these players, they're already dealing with CTE. Less than half of them are getting paid top dollar in the league. Only about 40% of the players are making the big money. There's a lot of players in the league right now that are going through things that are silently suffering, like you talked about.
Right. And BMAC brings a great topic. Do we think that it has something to do with CTE? Oh, buddy, you just hit a nerve right there. Not only with me, but at the NFL. And that's something we don't talk about, Bruno, right?
Yeah, those three, that acronym does not go pair well with the NFL. Goodell and his folks don't like that word. There was actually a movie made about that word with Will Smith.
Yeah, and I will, for the sake of, being hired by the NFL as a mental health specialist, I will keep my comments to myself on that subject.
Yeah. No, it's really tough.
can you pull that back up, BG? I think
Yeah.
this is why we have a mental health committee on there. And I've been on that website. I still don't see any job postings on there. So good information, Mr. Dell. But this is definitely
Here's Amber Cargill, director of player wellness at NFL. So at least we got some names and some positions here. Maybe we could go after. Dr. M. Thayer, Players Association.
MBAs that have to do with business. Awesome. Thank you for that, BMAC. Maybe we can talk offline and something, some other way of exposure.
Well, if you didn't know, now you know. As we get ready to wrap up the show, we want to finish with our quarterback and his nonprofit. You hear him talking about Faith Fight Finish. Everybody is now familiar. If you weren't familiar with, he always writes "Ask for Help" on his taped, wristband there, as a reminder to always, he's been doing that since he's came in the league, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe since his mother may have passed, but it's been for a number of years as Dak's been on this team for 10 years. But I'll share this link down in the comments below because, this guy lost his mother to colon cancer. He's lost his brother to suicide. This guy is taking all the L's in life while there are still fans out there mocking and making fun of him. They even made fun of, Marshawn Nealon. That's just the behavior that we see on social media that really gets to a lot of folks. I remember my first few years on social media, I really used to take everything people said really personal.
Right.
Because you just may be, you may be wired like that, and not everything has to be personal. So a lot of people, are programmed by social media. So you got to be safe with that. There's a term out there now called bed rotting. I don't know if you've heard of that. Bed rotting, where you just sit in the bed all day and you just scroll on the phone endlessly, looking for the end of Instagram, looking for the end of Facebook, just confused, not doing much. Don't sit around and bed rot. You got to get up and you got to move. And I'm going back to my veterans, because when you're isolated and you're connected to that device, it may keep you busy, but it's not going to get rid of the problem, because as soon as you get off of that, you're going to have those feelings and things like that too. But I'm glad that you joined us here today. That Faith Fight Finish link is now in the comments below if you want to learn more about that. Dr. M, I know your time is very precious. I appreciate you taking your time out today from your practice and everything that you got going on, providing mental health for people of, your color and that look like you, and coming on here. And I'm thankful that you're part of the Build Different group. You supported Build Different group content here when we first started out. We thank you for all of that and everything that you're doing down there in LA, because it matters. It really matters.
Thank you, BG, for this opportunity. Thank you, Cowboys Cousins. We are now at minute almost 38, and 3 people have died from suicide since we started talking, since we started this live. Just wanted to bring that awareness out there. The sad statistics that are around us. And don't forget, you're not alone. You matter.
Now, veterans, call that 888 crisis line. I called the 1-800 number before. I had them walk me off the ledge. A lot of people don't know that, but I've used that number, and you got to ask for help and then go get the help. So that way you can get better. And then after that, it's about trying to find other people and share your story. So that way you can inspire them to get help too. And it's unfortunate because the old rule of thumb is the whole family don't get together right until it's the funeral. And until then, everybody's bickering and all this and all that. But as soon as somebody is no longer with us, everybody is now like, hey, let's kumbaya. Now let's kumbaya now. If you're in a family, make sure, call your veterans, call your people, make this part of your vocabulary. How are you doing? Not, hey, how are you? Like, how are you doing inside, mentally? Are you fighting demons? Are you fighting battles nobody knows about? You got to treat everybody like a Google search bar. And that's what I try to do, man. We appreciate everybody tapping in here today. Her name is Dr. M over there. I am BG. We have opened up the mental health discussion. You know how to get in contact with her. All of the links are down in the comments below. We hope everybody has an awesome bye-week weekend. Remember, no Cowboys game. We'll be live again tomorrow. We'll be live again on Monday. So make sure you tap in. But today on Saturday, thank you again for joining us. We wanted to make sure we further this mental health discussion. And I would like to maybe have you up on here on a regular. I don't want to just bring you up on here when it's, a Cowboy players die. Let's maybe work out something where we get some mental health, because, that word delusion in Cowboy fans, I don't like that shit. I don't like that delusional,
Right.
because I know what delusional is, and I'm not a delusional Cowboy fan. And I know you're not either. But y'all have a great Saturday. It's Dr. M and BG. We'll see y'all in the gym on the next Mental Health Matters show on the next episode. Y'all have a great day.
Turn out the lights. The party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing again.